Ansary here. This is the latest video in a series of videos about Alex Jones. From my perspective, Ansary. I found Alex Jones back in 2002. He was influential in me starting my own Access TV show in 2004, 2005. Really saw him shift around the year 2007, around the time of the release of Endgame, and how he interacted with other people in the alternative media. Did a few interviews with him. At one point, never really got a chance to know him. But I would definitely say that my information, my own investigations, I guess my own interests, looking at different aspects of our reality, and the New World Order, in particular Russia's part in it and China's part in it, our research definitely went in different directions around that time period of 2008, 2009. Really started to see him in a different light, in a pretty unique light by 2011, 2012, potentially as some sort of agent of some intelligence agency beyond the CIA, or beyond what most people are aware of. And always kind of seeing that dark side within him, always kind of, I believe that we have a higher and a lower self, and that we as human beings can easily become hypnotized, possessed, put under a spell, put under control. And I think that talk show hosts that are under the spell of the archons, or under the spell of them, however you may identify them to be, it's a goal of theirs. And I think that what's happened to Alex Jones is a perfect example of that. Seeing someone like David Icke go on the Alex Jones show in light of what's happened to Alex Jones, and in light of what David Icke talks about, is also the ultimate irony. Characters like Jesse Ventura being involved now in the Alex Jones bullshit version of reality is also amusing and ironic, considering what the WE is, where Jesse Ventura came out of, what it represents, and that level of mind control and bloodlust, programming, targeting the population. So, I have a little bit of history looking at Alex Jones and also defending Alex Jones, and like I said, parting ways with his research for various reasons, as well as the Alex Jones personality, wanting to be recognized by him. And that is something that a lot of people seek in the alternative media because of the influence that he has. But it is a trap. To get involved with Alex Jones is a trap. I'm glad we never became close friends, because pulling away from his influence would probably be that much harder. And I don't think that it's good to have Alex Jones influencing you directly in your life. And I think that some of the people that have worked with Alex Jones are a little bit scarred on a level. And so what I want to talk about in this video are some of the videos that you could see for yourself that have come out in the last decade that kind of highlight how insane he has chosen to act in public. We can ask ourselves, why does Alex Jones do those things? Why does he condition his followers, you could call them listeners or viewers, but I think at this point they're followers, to accept the unacceptable, unprofessional behavior, baiting bodyguards into potentially violent conflicts? Not that I'm a fan of some of the people that he's been involved in beefs with, or situations that could have turned violent, unless of course those situations were staged. And so I'll be citing things like the situation where he's screaming at Michelle Malkin years ago, I believe at the DNC, 2008, I believe, right before Obama was elected. There's situations like this on video you can watch on YouTube where Alex Jones is instigating a situation while portraying how the situation went down to his own listeners and viewers, given a whole different version of events. Now, someone could look at different angles on YouTube of different things, and a few things are coming to mind, a few situations. where Alex Jones has tried to make a big deal out of certain things, ways he stretched the truth to make him look like a victim. The whole thing in Dallas with the JFK protest is also coming to mind. There's like a conditioning process from Alex Jones to his followers that what he says is the law, what he says is reality. He can stretch the fact on a certain headline, or he can say a certain thing happened, and if someone doesn't take the time to go look at the other angles as to what happened, then they're just going to believe what Alex Jones says and see him as some martyr, see him as some victim. And it really builds up this whole false god that is Alex Jones, the savior of humanity, which is exactly how he's making himself out to be for years. And so I will refer to a few of these situations that you can watch for yourself on YouTube, in which Alex Jones has behaved in a manner that could have instigated something. And with the situation with Michelle Malkin, he is seen pushing the bodyguard of Michelle, and he's making the accusation. I haven't read the book myself. She may have made the statement about Americans need to be put in FEMA camps or camps, facilities, detention facilities, if they were considered to be an enemy of the state. Now, of course, you have Trump over here, by the way, just to hit pause on that note, who's talking about putting Muslims in a database. Here you have Alex Jones, that's made several films about the police state, endorse the ultimate police state candidate who would put Muslims in camps. And so it's a little bit ironic and strange to look back at the tape of time and look at the old Alex Jones screaming about Michelle Malkin, writing about putting Americans in camps. Right? Like, that is the worst thing that you can do on the planet, something I'm not a fan of. And again, during that period, seeing that clip, still being a fan of Alex Jones at that time, but seeing how insane that whole situation is. How insane that situation was. And it doesn't make me a fan of those on the other side or the Democrats. But you're seeing a guy scream back to Alex Jones, peace, 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 peace. And Alex Jones is clearly anything but peaceful. And he's not doing a very good job of exposing Michelle Malkin. I mean, what he's saying is important. It's how it's being done. And so when you look at the clip, not edited by former Alex Jones employee Aaron Dykes, who, like Melissa Melton, isn't allowed to talk about what it was like working at InfoWars, what they saw because of the confidential agreement that he has all his employees sign. If you look at the other version of that situation, you see Alex Jones pushing the bodyguard. And, of course, he's accusing them of doing that. And, of course, one could wonder if the bodyguard and Alex Jones were in on it together to put on this show, but that's enough speculation on that end. There are other videos that I've seen over the years that I noted and be like, a documentary film could be made about this guy using footage of how he behaves in public and treats his fans. People that have supported him. Videos that have emerged over the years, like the Austin gun show incident. It's one of the most highly cited, where he's basically shouting down his own listeners, his own followers, viewers. And so there's a gun show rally, John Bush, Catherine Bleich, and others. There are others already there outside the police station involved in their protest and giving speeches on the megaphone. Here comes Blowhard Alex Jones, where he really got that nickname. Blowhard, Bullhorn, Blowhard, other related nicknames regarding his over-the-top, boastful, rude nature. This is one of the most significant moments of that, as he's shouting out his own supporters, hey lady, get out of my face. This is the First and Second Amendment, and stuff to that effect. You can watch it for yourself. And for anyone who knows who she is, I'm not a close friend of hers. I understand that a lot of people don't get along. There's a lot of people that don't get along with me or like me. But ultimately, they're on the same side of pro-Second Amendment. They may have different ways of speaking. Obviously, we're all different. What I saw in Alex Jones was an egomaniac who was really upset that John Bush was speaking on stage. And I really think it's the first time that I've really brought up Alex Jones, the sociopath. I made references to it in the past, and I did a Jack Blood interview years ago that, in fact, at one point I delisted because I thought it detracted away from my work. Getting involved in gossip is not something that I think is a great idea. At this point, I need to make this video series and really share what I've seen from him over the years, because now there's no doubt in my mind that he's a deceiver. Knowingly or unknowingly, he's working for darkness, and he's leading his listeners, his followers, into a trap. And so we have to look at some of the high-profile events and situations involving Alex Jones that we can look at and analyze on YouTube in order to get a deeper understanding of his psychology and how insane he might be, or how deep he's trying to condition America to associate conspiracy theory with him, or to condition his audience that that behavior is okay, and to condition other followers that he has the information, that he's giving them legitimate information about real threats. When he's not doing that, it's like this weird G.I. Joe, Mad Magazine, satirical Alex Jones, The Onion version of reality of the conspiracy. So anyway, he's screaming at this lady and others because they're not cool with him screaming them down. It's like this weird type of psychology. And again, these were his supporters. And so he calls him COINTELPRO on his radio show the next day. Again, conditioning process to his listeners. He's going to lie to your face. You can watch the clips. They were all over YouTube like that day and the next day from different people's perspectives. And you could see what an asshole Alex Jones really was. Walking up on everybody with a megaphone. They're already talking. You're going to yell over them. Literally, you came across as a government agent to your own friends. And there's this guy there going, we've never seen greater evidence than this. You don't need any more evidence than this that Alex Jones is working for the bad guys. But even at that time, in my mind, is that really evidence that Alex Jones is working for the bad guys? Again, not apologizing for him at that time, but trying to look at things rationally. Not everything is a conspiracy. Alex Jones generally is an asshole, a sociopath. He has to be on top. He saw people looking at John Bush. He flipped the fuck out. And I am assuming that this may have been something that came up in conversation when I talked with Jack Blood, who again was mostly just airing dirty laundry from his perspective because Jack felt disenfranchised by the Alex Jones influence over alternative media. I don't think Jack Blood is even within the ballpark of the whole picture of the issue with Alex Jones. That's inherently wrong, but he has a piece of it. He has a piece of it. And I think that we need to continue to look at Alex Jones from a deeper perspective, but also understand a lot of the stuff that's been put out there is almost a straw man argument. There are many arguments out there that are all about rushing to judgment and calling someone a government agent from this group, or making very specific allegations that cannot be backed up or quantified with evidence. And when you go down that road of just saying something's true and you don't have all the facts, then you're in the world of distortion and negativity. We don't need more negativity than what we've already had to deal with from him and other events in the world. What people need to do is heal from the disinformation, from the programming. I mean, even listening to his voice. There's a reason why a lot of people don't like listening to his voice. I thought they were just being judgmental. I'm like, forget about it's what he's saying. But now I understand. He's got people under a spell. To what degree he himself is co-opted by the spirit of evil, I don't know. At this point, to me, what I'm seeing spiritually is like he is embodying something. And I'm going to leave it at that. He's like the embodiment of something. And it's like shining through. Like, okay, I'm referencing video clips. And there was a period where it's like the archonic, cybernetic consciousness of transhumanism. He mimics like what the elite are doing in his mind when he talks about, oh, the blood, kill, kill, kill. And it's like he's going into channeling those demons that actually control him. When he's going, robotics, AI, just, it's like, there's a part of Alex Jones, I got to speak openly from the heart. You know, I don't think that I can hold back if I'm really to complete this thought. Even if some people think that the way I perceive reality is a little bit wacky. But I think that some of us have souls and that we are return visitors to the earth. When I look at Alex Jones, I see like someone who's done bad shit in this reality or somewhere, who is currently in human form with an opportunity to work off some pretty dark karma. And just because he's done a little bit of good work to wake people up to a point, that's not going to take away from the role he's playing still within this lifetime. A role serving the dark side. A role where he's programming his audience. Where he's dominating, where he's controlling, where he's manipulating, where he is a slave to his own greed and desire to rule something. It's like in him, be it his DNA or his consciousness, his soul's signature. And I've always kind of seen that, felt that energy signature of control, desire to dominate everything emanating from him, coming out of his voice. I've always felt there was a dark spirit inside him, and he's somehow trying to make right by putting out a little bit of the information. And I think what I've seen from him recently has shown me or provided me with a new insight. You can do a lot of great work educating people and still serve the dark side when you lead them ultimately to a certain outcome. You know, you can think you're doing good for a certain amount of time and then do a certain or go in a certain direction, endorse someone who is talking about putting people into databases, banning all Muslims from the country. I mean, you know this could go wrong and they could confuse someone for being a Muslim because of the way they look or their last name. I mean, you're not naive. You know we live in a police state in this day and age where because of what someone might post on the internet, they can end up on the no-fly list. They can end up unable to buy a gun. It's amazing how many Americans are talking about their own enslavement and their own rights being violated and how they're being marginalized as racists and all of that. And then you literally see the same thing being done to other people, and they don't seem to understand that it's happening to all of us. That's the New World Order. That's how organized it already is, because we're already in a New World Order to a certain degree. We're just about to go to the next level of it, where China and Russia play the front. After the U.S. had its time in the spotlight, Europe's already had its spotlight, Britain, Germany, other countries. The military-industrial complex torch just keeps getting passed. Well, why doesn't Alex Jones discuss this greater reality? Because this is a reality where you can be on the air now for multiple years, speaking a great deal of truth, only to turn around and see someone go in a whole new direction, completely surprising many of his viewers. And many observers, I mean, they saw something not quite right with Alex Jones, but I mean, the Donald Trump thing took a lot of people by surprise. I mean, that's hardcore coming out with it, that you are not what you projected yourself to be. And that you're involved in mind control over your audience, that you're going to basically act like you're endorsing Trump for president 1 minute, to turn around and go, well, I didn't really do that. I still might like cruise a little bit and ran. Like, no. You can't backpedal from what you've done there. So like I said before, because of what he's done with this major deception, the ultimate of ultimate Alex Jones deceptions. I mean, it's right up there with the Y2K broadcast, where he may or may not have been under the influence of cocaine, talking about, the one time he has healthy skepticism about Russia, he's going over the top, calling Putin a demon, and talking about, all this stuff going down at that moment, which wasn't going down at the moment. Fast forward to 2015, Putin, Russia can do no wrong, but it didn't start this year. See, this is all just so backwards. So, from the Austin gun rally video, you can see how he related to his own people and then how he acted on the air after that. You can look at the Michelle Malkin incident. All of a sudden, he's pissed off when someone's talking about wanting to put people in camps or Muslims in camps. And you go back and watch and listen to exactly what he was saying. And again, we have Mr. FEMA camp guy like, listen, the government's preparing to put you motherfuckers in camps. I am not crazy. I've got the documents. And we're like, the dude's got the documents. Look, documents. Camp FEMA. And now it's like a demographic of America that will be okay with that. You're somehow marketing yourself to them. And I don't want to get into like white trash Ted Nugent. Like that's just this whole, like you're totally going for this like toothless, like dumb hillbilly, like this is a very different Alex Jones. People need to know that this is going on. I mean, this isn't normal human behavior. If you really believe the things that you're saying now, like that Donald Trump, like somehow is compatible with the liberty movement, you're under a fucking demonic spell. Something. But I have given this great thought. I mean, just to be honest with the people watching this, I've given it great thought that Alex has been targeted. He's his own targeted individual. I mean, you make a lot of noise. You project that. You scream about, rightfully so, in the past, police brutality, but you took it to a point where you were insightful. And you were talking about taking big bloody chunks. I mean, no, we all know you did that. Could we get away with that? Yes, some people do. A lot of people don't. A lot of people get that knock on the door from Secret Service, from the Secret Service or the government, for doing far less than that. So why has Alex Jones gotten away with all that for so long? Meanwhile, claiming censorship from YouTube and Google. Absolute bullshit. When you look at his internet footprint, I mean, the whole internet is contaminated with the Alex Jones worldview once you go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theory. And I think that's what has some people unnerved, is that type of internet domination from someone that's cried wolf for so long about his own persecution. And that's another thing, though, the whole cried wolf scenario about everything's going to end tomorrow. In-game. Mass death. There's a reason why he doesn't talk about 90% dead all the time, because you can't push the same bullshit. This is happening next month all the time. Listen, with this whole Islam is now the threat, they have a whole new fresh story to tell about the threat. Muslims gang raping European women, oh my God. No, don't take time to look at the European Union, how they set all this up in advance to prepare for this problem, reaction, solution scenario. Don't talk about them destroying Syria and pushing Syrians out, but you know all this shit. because you know what's going on. For you to not talk about it, ooh, I mean, that indicates you're prepping. You're prepping your audience for the next great Alex Jones deception. What that's going to be, it's anybody's guess. But all this is building to something. And like some sort of a member of the mafia, as far as I'm concerned, you are protected, Alex Jones. Not by spirit, but here in this world of mammon. In this beast system, as long as you serve it, which you really do in your heart. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well be a Satanist. I will continue this playlist later. I'm Alex Ansary signing off from northern New Mexico. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And check out my other videos on this topic in my playlist section. Talk to you next time.